I'd like to call to order the City Council Caucus meeting for January 8th, 2024. We have 2 items for original consideration. If the clerk would please read item number 1.
Item number 1 for consideration. A resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into agreement with the New York State Department of Transportation for the implementation and funding in the first instance 100% for the federal aid and state Marcus program aid eligible costs for the Transportation Federal Aid Project and appropriating funds for Crane Street Bridge rehabilitation, New York State Department of Transportation, PIN number 1762.36.
Discussed in committee with objection on consent. Item number 2.
Item number 2 for original consideration, a resolution recognizing the contributions of 518 Elevated and recognizing January as National Mentoring Month.
This item will be taken out of order and presented by Councilman Williams. If there's nothing more to come before the City Council Caucus, I ask for a motion to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. We're adjourned. I'd like to call to order the City Council meeting for Monday, January 8th, 2024. And I'd like to call on Reverend Amare to do the invocation.
Dr. Martin Luther King, whose birthday we celebrate in the coming weeks, is quoted to have said, as early as 1956, and I quote with some addition, that the end of nonviolence is reconciliation. The end is redemption. So the aftermath of violence is bitterness, but the aftermath of nonviolence is the creation of the beloved community. As we gather as the legislative body of this community, a week before the celebration of Dr. King's birthday and legacy, we are reminded of the many hopes and aspirations of the community that led struggles for civil rights for all. Our Square, a project of the Commission of Religion and Race of the United Methodist Church, identifies 25 traits of the beloved community, first suggested by Dr. Arthur E. Wright. As we gather in prayer this evening, there are 5 of those traits I'd like to highlight to encourage the legislative and governance leadership of this body for our beloved Schenectady. The beloved community is expressed in the following ways. 1, exhibits personal authenticity, true respect, and validation of others. 2, recognition and affirmation, not eradication of difference. 3, builds increasing levels of trust and works to avoid fear of difference and others. 4, focuses energy on removing evil forces, not destroying persons. And 5, promotes human rights and works to create a non-racist society. Would you join me in prayer? Omniscient, ever-present, and all-powerful source of goodness, we gather this evening asking that you bestow on these, your children, your gifts of peace, wisdom, fellowship, and strength. We pray that these values of beloved community, those you inspired in Josiah Royce, Martin Luther King, and Arthur E. Wright, will continue to inspire our work and leadership with this community. Inspire us all, I pray, and inspire these your children, the president of the council and the council members, the mayor, and everyone who labors to govern the municipality with your presence. And as Paul the Apostle encouraged the church in Philippi, these your servants may be encouraged. If anything is excellent, and if anything is admirable, focus on all your thoughts on these things. All that is true, all that is holy, all that is just, all that is pure, all that is lovely, and all that is worthy of praise. May it be so, in the name of everything that is holy, good, and righteous. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend. I'd like to call on Councilman Mancini to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, for all.
Thank you. If the clerk could please complete the roll call.
Mr. Mutaveran? Present. Mr. Toro? Present. Mr. Farley is absent. Mr. Williams? Present. Ms. Patrick? Here. Mr. Mancini?
Here.
And Ms. Porterfield?
Here. We have one out-of-order resolution recognizing the contributions of 518 Elevated, and I'd like to call on Councilman Williams to present this resolution. Those that are here to accept it, please join us behind the rail. Come behind the rail on the other side. Yes, thank you. I beg your pardon? Oh, of course, yes. I thought you were coming to be a...
May I have the floor?
You have the floor, sir.
All right, before I begin with this resolution, I would just like to outline that I am a direct recipient of mentorship, and although not this program, definitely the generosity of a community of individuals that felt it in their best interest to impart some wisdom on a young individual like myself. So I'm very honored to be presenting this today. So today, a resolution recognizing the contributions of 518 Elevated and recognizing January as National Mentoring Month. Whereas 518 Elevated was founded in 1997 as Capital Region sponsor a scholar in Albany, New York, and whereas 518 Elevated now covers all of the counties that encompass the Capital Region of New York and has graduated over 350 people through its program and who have earned a post-secondary degree, and whereas 518 Elevated is now known for its specialized programs, mentoring, professional guidance, and academic and financial support for qualifying participants in the Capital Region, and whereas by assembling a network of business leaders, educational advocates, and dedicated volunteers, promising youth are provided opportunities and access to higher education that may be otherwise unavailable. And whereas 518 Elevated has promoted mentoring through its pathways to college program, engaging members of the community to participate in shared networks, knowledge, and expertise with students from across the region, and whereas January is known as National Mentoring Month, an annual campaign dedicated to raising awareness about the power and impact of mentoring and to recognize and honor the contributions of mentors, now therefore be it resolved that the Schenectady City Council and Mayor Gary R. McCarthy do hereby pause in their deliberation to recognize 518 Elevated staff and volunteers for their continued dedication to providing equitable educational opportunities to students and work-ready adults in the Capital Region, including Schenectady, and applaud 518 Elevated for its accomplishments in the city and county of Schenectady and the Capital Region. And I'd like to move the resolution.
I need a second, please. Second. All those in favor? Aye. Congratulations, it passes.
I didn't know I get to say anything. Thank you very much. The work that we do is a testament, as he said, mentoring brings students opportunities, exposure, and networks that they may not get otherwise. So we're happy to continue that in the city of Schenectady and beyond, and thank you for recognizing us and the volunteers and the organization. We are honored. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'd also like to thank our Director of Development, Ms. Alexandria Carver, for bringing this to our attention so we could have this resolution. And need approval of the minutes for December 26th and January 2nd, 2024. Second by Mr. Williams. All those in favor? Aye. Ask the clerk to please read any communications and petitions.
Communications presented to the City Council from Monday, January 8th, 2024. Under Official, from the Mayor, a list of appointments dated January 8th, 2024. Under General, from Thomas Kennedy, Schenectady GOP Chair, an email regarding a closed meeting held by the Council on December 28th, 2023 at 5:30, stating that this meeting was a violation of the New York State Opens Meeting Law. And under petitions, there were none.
Thank you. I call on City Council members for any committee reports. This time, we have privilege of the floor related to the legislative agenda, and I have no one signed up to speak, so I declare the public comment on the legislative agenda closed. As for approval of the legislative consent agenda, need a motion, Ms. Patrick, second by Mr. Mutaverin. All in favor? Aye. We'll now have privilege of the floor related to general city business. And again, I have no one signed up to speak, so if there's someone here that doesn't know the process and wanted to speak, okay. All right, then if you would just come to the microphone. And you would need to state your name, and I need to let you know that you have 3 minutes to speak.
Good night. My name is Andre Gerard. Some people know me as AKA Triple OG. I am the founder, the CEO, as well as the executive director of a business called Gang Affiliated Nonviolent Guidance over here in Schenectady. I'm making a diligent effort to give back to the community, of which once I was part of destruction. At 51 years old, my calling is to reduce violence. I am very active in the community. They know me. I have issues with financing my business. I have been recently attacked by, the sheriff department. They decided to take away the community unity. I purchased a community unity truck to help, provide food, and hats and shirts, to the community that I'm reducing violence in. And I have a lot of support, but I noticed that I'm loved and I'm hated, and then I don't know, or I'm not properly, I would say, I know there's money and there's resources that would be much happy that I am taking a leading role in reducing violence in Schenectady. And when I say violence, I am promoting hugs, no slugs. And, I just have a way of, interacting with the youth when they see gang-affiliated nonviolent guidance. I mean, they just come to me and just explain to me the things that is going on. I have stopped a lot of murders, violence, stabbings. I can tell you that there's a lot of domestic violence in Schenectady, and all I am striving to do is my part. And my name is Andre Gerard. I am right-wing, working class. I am GOP. My other business is called Black Republican Movement, www.com. You can go and log on and find out more about blackrepublicanmovement.com here in Schenectady in the 518. I'm just grateful to be able to, do cookouts and reach out to the people out here in Schenectady who are homeless, who are veterans, who are going through issues with addiction and stuff like that. I'm out in the streets, and I also have secular knowledge on a different level, so it's just, I just know how to interact with the people. It's just that, it's just terrible what's going on. It's a terrible crisis of violence in Schenectady. And if it's not addressed properly, it's gonna end up like another, Albany or, Troy. And hopefully, I can help with, get some resources to reach out to the youth. Because, when they don't have activities on recreational things to participate in, they just, find, themselves in trouble.
Thank you. Elizabeth Walsh.
Good evening, all. My name is Elizabeth Walsh. I reside in the Stockade neighborhood. I come before you today not only as a resident of the Stockade neighborhood, but also as a planner who's committed to advocating for walkable, vibrant neighborhoods and climate-resilient regions where everyone can thrive. A little over a year ago, I moved here from Denver, Colorado, where I taught community development at the University of Colorado, University of Denver. This is the first time in 25 years of living in urban neighborhoods that I've not been able to safely walk, bike, or take a bus to meet all of my weekly basic needs. Thankfully, with your collaborative leadership, with all sorts of public sector, civic, and private partners, and your strategic investments, a future of transit-oriented sustainable development is on the horizon. Thank you for all you have done in collaboration with county officials to support transit-oriented development, one of the key priorities from the Schenectady 2020 Comprehensive Plan. Pardon me, which was adopted in 2008. It's been so exciting to see the Gateway Mobility Hub, the region's first major multimodal transportation hub, adopted at State and Church Streets. Now it's easier than ever for Schenectady residents and visitors to conveniently and comfortably access a diversity of mobility options, including access to over 10 major bus lines, as well as a bike and scooter share program, and parking for electric vehicles and personal bikes. Now people can get off a bus, hop on to a bike, and access all of what downtown Schenectady has to offer. While the new Gateway Mobility Hub is really exciting, it's also important to remember that activating multimodal mobility hubs like these requires a larger, equitable, transit-oriented development strategy. People are only free from dependence on automobiles when they can easily access all their basic weekly needs near transit stops. For instance, commuters are much more likely to use a bus when they know that they can make a quick stop at the grocery store before they hop back on the bus at the end of the day to go home. Surely, that's one of the many reasons that the 2020 Comprehensive Plan's implementation strategy recommended to make it a priority to, quote, identify locations and complete a feasibility study for an inner-city grocery store. Although we all know that downtown Schenectady has not had a downtown grocery store in 20 years, more than 20 years, it's important to recognize that city staff and elected leaders have been really diligent in moving that plan forward. There have been several completed feasibility analyses that reveal that a grocery store located very close to the mobility hub is not only feasible, but would also significantly contribute to our local economy and to the community health of surrounding neighborhoods. Thankfully, we also know that there's tremendous momentum under the way, thanks to the 1,000 members plus of the Electric City Co-op, and you all for investing in the co-op $1 million of ARPA money, along with the $3 million committed from the county. The other great news is that the County of Schenectady now owns an impressive assemblage of parcels. Oh, that's time, yes.
You can finish your sentence, but then I need you to summarize.
And an impressive assemblage of parcels immediately next to the Gateway Mobility Hub, which is an unparalleled opportunity to collaborate to attract the uses that can really support equitable transit-oriented development. Thanks.
Thank you. I have no one else signed up to speak, so I declare the public comment of city business closed. Any miscellaneous business of the council? Mr. Williams.
Good evening, thank you. Although we haven't experienced a lot of snow, I thought it was important to just take a moment to appreciate the investments that have been made. Yesterday, there was a lot of snow that was present within our city, and I want to remind the residents that it wasn't a coincidence that our roadways and streets were paved in most instances in equitable fashion. I wanted to take a moment to, I think it's easier to criticize sometimes, so I wanted to deliberately take a moment to just appreciate the investment that our Office of General Services makes to ensure that our roadways are always clean and drivable for our residents. But I also wanted to identify that as I was putting out trash out front of my house today, regardless of the weather conditions, heat, rain, hail, or snow, our sanitation department does an exceptional job with removing all of that. And I know during our budget season, we definitely deliberated at length about how to fund that resource, but I think it's safe to say at no point do we undervalue that resource's ability to meet the needs of our growing city, to both our street plowing efforts during our winter seasons and also to our sanitation department. I sincerely wanted to just say thank you for the hard work. I think we're due another snowfall either today or tomorrow, so everyone please be safe. And also intentionally, if you live around a school zone, please make sure you are cleaning your pathways. In a lot of instances, there are families that are transiting into schools by foot, and what makes it more difficult during our seasonal weathers is having ice or unpaid walkways. So although it might be an absent consideration to yourself, please make sure you are not inhibiting or putting in place any more obstacles that are preventing our younger students from reaching and getting a formal education daily. So, thank you.
Thank you. Mayor?
Thank you, Madam President. And follow up to Councilor Member Williams. Had the snowstorm, got through that pretty good. The forecast for tomorrow has some snow starting in the afternoon, changing to rain. There may be an inch or two, so it could be significant, but they're also forecasting wind gusts that may approach 50 miles an hour. So there's a chance for trees to come down, power lines to come down, and we just have people be cognizant of that and be cautious. Always treat a utility line as it being a live electric line. And if you do lose power or see down telephone pole, trees, or anything, to make sure you call National Grid or 911. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to thank everyone that came out this evening to make their concerns known to the City Council. And I also want to thank all the City Council members. I think we're off to a good start, and welcome to Mr. Mancini. And thank you for leading the pledge today. So, I'm looking forward to all the work that we'll be able to do collectively and collaboratively with the mayor for the city of Schenectady. So I'm excited about 2024. Just want to remind everyone that next Monday is Martin Luther King Day is observed. So we will not be having our committee meeting on that Monday, but instead on Tuesday. So Monday's a holiday, and there's a few observations around the capital region for those of you who want to take out the time to do that. And just as we celebrate Martin Luther King's birthday, let us just remember what he stood for, and that it's not just a day to observe, but absolutely to believe in what he preached in terms of working together and the beloved community. Thank you very much. And with that, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Mr. Williams, second by Mr. Mancini. All those in favor? Aye. We're adjourned. Have a good evening. Oh, I kept them longer than they wanted to stay.